No TV, no radio. I get in the car, go to work, turn on the radio, listen to some rap music, whatever, you know, California lifestyle. And 9/11, that's what I did. And well, first I didn't turn on the radio. I was driving, and, you know, sounds like California. Oh, that's funny. There's no planes in the sky. I'm right near an airport. You know, there's planes going by, and there's no planes. That's interesting. No big deal. So I was in a traffic jam, and everyone's on their mobile phones. Everybody, every single person was on their mobile phones. And wow, no planes. Everyone's on their mobile phones. This is weird. So I finally turn on the radio, and then it hits. I'm like, wow, you know, this is incredible. And when the first plane hit, so like, well, to me, I knew who it was because I studied Crusades in high school and in college. I went to St. Xavier University, and one of I know Islam very well to a Western point. I've read the Quran, and when the first plane hit, the media was saying, well, probably an accident. You know, it's a clear day, but I think it's an accident. I said, no, terrorism, Al Qaeda, Bin Laden. Why? I said that because studying Crusades, I know Bin Laden studied the same thing. You know, he thinks the same, but on the opposite side of that. So I knew it was who it was, and then the second tower hit, and everyone else like, oh yeah, it has to be terrorism. I said, well, that's what I said in the beginning, but no one ever listens to me. So, and then the Pentagon hit, and then you realize, oh, it's all about war. You know what I mean? So the dragon in a lot of his attacks represents that day to me. You know, how does a fantasy writer write something, you know, like that and get out his feelings? How can he write an event that impacted his life, but put it in terms of fantasy? You know, how do you get out that aggression? I mean, I'm from California. Okay, it didn't affect me none. I don't live in New York City. I don't live in Washington. But you know, it's the same thing. You know, with Russian people. I mean, you know, you go to work, you do your thing, but when something tragic happens, you all come together and you realize, yeah, we're all one people, we're all one group, so it affects you, so it affected everybody. And if it happened here, it would affect all of you as well. So I thought, well, yeah, it's been, you know, at the time, 8 years ago, but you know, you still think about it. So I had to write something, just get off my chest, you know, I had to put it in the story, and the dragon partially represents that time in my life. So when you hear about these villages just being ripped asunder and just the whole population being wiped out, you know, that's where it's coming from, basically. Now this book is interesting. When I was writing it, I didn't think about it at the time. I was just writing a good story. When a fantasy writer is writing, or I think any writer, but specifically fantasy, it's all about just writing a good story. When I was writing this, you know, I was writing it for the enjoyment of writing, to put out a story I wanted to put out. And that's why I left TSR, because TSR didn't care about what I wanted. They wanted what they wanted. So with this book, is specifically, I was writing it for what I wanted, and the story, you know, that I think is good. And I think it's an international story. It, like I said, takes place in Prowley, Italy, right on the French border. So I got the Italians in there and the French in there. And the main character is a Franciscan monk. And the reason why I made the main character a Franciscan monk is you read a lot of fantasy books. I mean, tell me what the main hero usually is in a fantasy story. Can anybody tell me?
A knight or an adventurer, something like that.
Yeah, a knight, an adventurer. Yeah, exactly. And I wanted something completely different, something completely off the wall, something people would never expect. So why not a Franciscan monk? A nobody, you know? A young monk who just polishes brass and gets kicked around by the priest of the monastery. The most unlikeliest of heroes, you know? And so that's the main character. And then the second character, which is my favorite, because for some reason, I enjoy female characters the most. I don't know why, I really don't, but I enjoy writing about females more than males. I don't know what, I mean, it must be something subconscious.